Hello,
Welcome to the Thister podcast. Cue the imaginary intro. My name is Linda, and this is my sister,
Melissa.
Melissa.
Hello.
So this podcast, we start every podcast with a life update, but this podcast is going to be childhood drama or trauma, right? Or am I wrong?
Part
I think
two.
this is episode 10. This is part 2 because we thought of a lot more after we got off the phone, or at least I did. But we'll start with our life update. We finally got Miss Sasha. I feel like I've been talking about her on the podcast for a while, but we picked her up this weekend. It was a super quick trip because Puppy had a baseball game and pictures on Saturday, and they were short and asked Ever. They were short on coaches and kids, so they asked Ever to coach. So obviously, we had to come back early. We spent the weekend nesting with her. So far, so good. Ella's hella attached, which is kind of shocking. But now that I think about it, I'm like, I should have figured she was a cat person because she's like, cats are so much better than dogs. Why did we ever get dogs? And I'm like, girl, don't let Teddy hear you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my life update. It's mostly cat related. I'm officially a cat lady. How do you feel, Melissa? How do you feel
Do you
about
consider
this?
yourself crazy cat lady? Because I feel like you're not. You can't just be a cat lady. Like if you're a cat lady, you're crazy.
I only want one. I think I'm a crazy cat lady, but I just don't want to be those that have like 60 cats because that's alarming.
Like Tiffany
Yes,
from
we'll
Bad
get to
Influence.
her.
Should we talk a little bit about Bad Influence, or should first a little bit
We'll
about the
talk.
life updates?
We'll finish with that, I think.
Well, for starters, fun fact: one of the segments on the childhood trauma or drama, I'm going to tell you guys why, like the origins of my cat phobia. And my heart's beating a little bit fast just staring at you with Sasha right now. She doesn't look like she likes that.
She's purring.
Oh, I know,
Can you
dude.
hear it?
Oh, my neck, I'm getting itchy.
Can you hear it? They're hypoallergenic. Don't start with your allergy bullshit. This is the reason I picked this over a Persian cat because we're between
Because you thought
I
of me.
wanted a Persian cat. But I was like, I know she has really sensitive allergies, and like so does Melissa. And I know these are hypoallergenic, and so I was like, did I even
Are
say
the
that
cat
right?
phobia allergenic?
No, there's none that are cat phobia genic. But okay, so let's
Anyway,
start. You can start
wait,
with your cat
my life
phobia.
update.
Oh, never mind. Go to your life update. Sorry.
Can you see I'm wearing Tia Luchona merch?
Is it still available?
I think it is. I have to look it up. So I came out with a line with Hey Reina, shout out to Reina, of a Tia Luchona collab. When was it? 3 years ago? I believe 3 years ago.
I think 3 years ago.
Super fun. Super
It
fun.
was nice. It was nice embroidered. It was
Little
very
plate.
nice
Oh, I got the
quality.
limited edition. They're not embroidered.
Oh, you had the limited edition one. I
Um,
have gotten quite a bit of messages about the Thister merch. Like, think people that don't know we had it or that are new here. We do have plans of launching brand new stuff, so stay tuned for that. I don't think it'll be with Pangaya, so the price point will definitely be a little more accessible to everyone. But hopefully, we can find quality and sustainability
we
that
can.
match.
Remember that Vexter guy that I've worked with before, the San Luis? He can do
Yeah.
some stuff for us.
Okay. We're working on it.
Supporting locals. Locals supporting locals.
Made in Mexico.
Uh-huh. Oh, even
Uh,
better. Hecho en Mexico. Fun fact, there was a time where I was dead ass wanted a tattoo on my foot. The
That said
little
made
one.
the
The
little
Hecho en
sello
Mexico.
made in Mexico. She wanted it on the bottom of Mexico. She wanted it on the bottom of her foot. I'm
Thank
glad that
God.
you
I still want
got.
a tattoo. I want a little palm tree like on my rib. A little one sketched out. But no more made in Mexico.
And then she was mad because she wanted us to get matching ones. I was like, I do not want. I don't have any tattoos. Fun fact, and I really didn't want that to be my first one. I love tattoos. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think they're beautiful. I love them. I just know how obsessive I am and how I go like 0 to 100. So I won't just get like a few meaningful tattoos. I'll be like sleeve, and then I'll wake up one day and be like, I don't want these anymore, and then I'm gonna have them lasered. So I think I just won't even cross that bridge. But Melissa's been trying to get a tattoo for a while. I think
Yeah.
it's your
So
middle
maybe
life,
for my 30th. We'll see.
your quarter life crisis.
I'm getting hair extensions this weekend. I'm excited. Uh, I'll keep you guys posted if they do leave you bald or not. Hopefully they don't. I mean, I'm already bald. What's a couple
So
more strands?
mom called me yesterday with that update and she's like, please talk your sister out of getting hair extensions. And I'm like, I tried. I was like, but she's an adult. She's literally a mother. Like, I can't, like, if she
I'm
wants
not
to,
doing it for length purposes. I'm
it's
doing it
her
for
hair.
volume.
She can do whatever she wants. But she legit, and she's like, she's your sister. Don't you love her? I'm like, mom, she's not getting a fucking lobotomy. She's getting like hair
Like,
extensions.
no
Like,
van a ser buchonas. No van a ser extensiones buchonas. Nomás va a ser volumen.
I think you should go a little longer. Like, you're already doing it. You might as well a little more length and volume. I mean, your hair is long, but it could always be longer.
Well, I'm getting hair extensions. I'm going to be going to Yuma and San Luis this weekend for Easter. We're going to celebrate my mom's birthday. Um, Update, I'm struggling with Santi's nighttime. I sent him to his crib, and speaking of childhood trauma or drama, my son's giving me trauma and drama all at once. We're struggling, but I'm
You
not
hired
giving
a
up.
sleep coach. Tell them you're that mom.
I did. I hired a sleep coach de Mexico that I saw all my San Luisina mamas hire. Um, it's personalized, it's one on one, 10-day WhatsApps y todo. So I'm just like, okay, I tried all the taking care of babies, all the YouTube videos, and it's not working for my fucking son. So I'm like, okay, maybe something more one on one will help us, and I'm going to be committed to it. Ni
I
más.
mean, it can't
No me va
hurt.
a ganar este pinche chamaco.
I just never thought you'd be the kind of mom that, not that there's anything wrong with it. I just never thought you were going to need to get in
Assistance.
outside help. But I'm glad you're doing something about it. Hopefully it
Yeah, because
works.
I'm noticing que le estoy agarrando coraje. Like, me estoy desesperando at night, and I feel bad. And I mean,
Well,
at the
yeah,
end of the day,
because
what
you're exhausted.
he wants is sleep in our bed. Like, he just wants to sleep in our bed with us, which there's nothing fine with it. I know everyone tells me, just have him in your bed. He's going to grow up so quick and blah, blah, blah. I've been taking all the contact naps and all the sleeping together, and like, yeah, I need a break. Like, se
No,
merece.
yeah, co-sleeping is fine if that's what if it's comfortable for you and it's easy for you and you're getting rest.
The
But if
thing
you don't
is, I can tell that neither one of us is
Yeah,
sleeping well.
yeah. And co-sleeping doesn't for some people, like not the kid doesn't sleep, you don't sleep the same, your spouse doesn't. So it's just different for everybody. So I think if it's and I know you're genuinely not resting, like he needs to sleep in his room
And neither
or at
is
least
he.
in his crib.
So I'll keep you guys posted if the sleeping coach does help us, and then I'll recommend her to you guys, to
Yeah,
all
test
the
her
other
out.
mamas that are struggling, because I know I'm not alone.
You're not definitely not alone. I got really blessed in that kind of like my kids were really good sleepers, only when they were sick. But I was very like at the beginning, like in the bassinet in their room with the door closed and a baby monitor, like because I know me personally, like I need 8+ hours of sleep. Like I know
No,
most
pues yo
people don't,
también,
but
pero
I do because I can't function. Like I feel like I'm hungover, I'm tired, I'm cranky, I'm not like I need my sleep. Like I know I wouldn't have been a good mom if I wouldn't have been able to rest. And
mm,
I feel my heart feels for those moms that have babies that don't sleep because the few times that I had sleepless nights, like when my babies were sick, like I felt awful, like a zombie. So
the
I can't
thing is that
imagine
he's
that.
not sleepless. He just wants to sleep with me.
Yeah.
As long as he's in the bed with me, we'll sleep. But the thing is, since I'm sleep training him to sleep in his crib, nope, ni madres. Pero qué tal en the Four Seasons? He slept in the crib.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact, I looked up the Four Seasons like bedding. I forgot to tell you, because I was like, you know what? Like, I like the pillows, I like the
Oh
comfort.
yeah. Elle
I'm
said
like,
it was the
okay.
most comfortable bed she's ever slept in her
So I
life.
was like, I know it's gonna be for sale. So I looked it up. Guess how much pillows, the sheets, just the sheets, no colchon, no
Uh-huh.
mattress. How
Just
much?
the
The
like
bedding,
300,
the linen y todo.
it's gonna be anywhere from 300 to 500 bucks.
3,000, mijita.
Shut the.
3,000.
Are you serious?
No mattress. Because I was like, okay. Because I honestly thought 300, 500. I'm like, okay. Like, ahorita I'm lacking sleep. Even if I just sleep for an hour in those sheets, todo bien. 3,000.
Damn. I'm gonna tell Elle because Elle said legit was the most comfortable bed she's ever. And I think the win for me is the most comfortable bed, but I think because I'm literally exhausted. Because they sell the win ones too, but I don't know how much they are. But that I was way off.
So yeah, that's our life updates.
Okay, start with let's get to our childhood drama or trauma. Or is it trauma or drama? ¿Cuál es? What comes first?
Trauma or drama?
Okay, you can start with your cat one
I
since.
think everything was, I think the first episode was a success, so we're going to keep these coming. Disclaimer, I'm going to bring it up every time we do this episode, this title. We had a great childhood. Great
Yes,
childhood. I
yes,
wouldn't change anything in the world.
yes. We had a great childhood.
My inner child doesn't need a whole lot of healing, maybe like 5%. So no pasa nada. But don't we all?
Wait, yeah.
Okay, so I'll bring up the cat phobia story since we're on that topic right now. So when Linda says I made it up, it's such bullshit. We can ask mom. So what had happened was when I was in kindergarten, we have a tia who lives in Algodones. Shout out Coquita. And she's not like our blood tia, but like the cariño. You know how us Mexicans, de
I think
cariño
it's a
tenemos
Latino
tías,
thing, yeah.
primos y todo el show.
Yes.
So tia Cookie, she was a crazy cat lady. I think anybody that's a cat lady is already crazy. So crazy cat lady. She had like 8, I believe. And estaba yo en su casa and I'm playing with one of the 8 cats. Me
Was
and
it
my
a kitten or a cat?
It was a cat, a big cat. I'm playing with her, and you know when you're a little kid, like you're rough, tosca.
So you were asking for it.
I was in kinder. I don't know
Okay,
how you can ask, but
go.
I was being a little rough with the cat. Like I remember. So I can tell that I wanted to hug it, and so I squeezed it in the hug. Y cuando lo abracé, me sacó las uñas, and it fucking just started scratching the shit out of my face. And I got a huge scab on half of my face. And I remember going to school the next day because I was covered up because estaba crudo, like the whatever. I looked like Phantom of the Opera, like rolling up to school SC. And so ever since then, I trust no motherfucking cat. And fun fact, my mom started feeding one cat at the house outside, un gato callejero,
So
and then the
mom's a
cat
crazy cat
had
lady now.
babies. The cat had babies. So now my mom has 8 cats outside her house. And there was a while where I was not okay rolling up to her house, but they mind their own business. So there'd be a few moments where I would get
I
close
feel
to
like
them.
that's cats in general. Like I'm pretty sure you were doing something to the cat and it was like it felt the need to like defend itself because no cat just comes up to you and scratches you. Like you
Pues
were
es
probably
una
being
niña
a little
chiquita. You
shit.
know when little kids play with their dogs and their pets or whatever, and they're a little aggressive, like toscos, not aggressive, toscos, you know?
Okay, so I blame mom for not watching you around the cat.
Mom wasn't there. Mom dropped me off at Cuquitas for the
I
day.
blame mom for not being there for you that day. So it's
So
definitely childhood trauma.
So that's why I don't fuck with cats. And I'm going this weekend to Linda's house and I'm honestly like freaking out.
Oh my God. She's so sweet. Look at this. Look, she's just here on my lap.
Dude, I'm getting the goosebumps looking at that. Like if it purrs around my legs, like
Can you hear it purring in the phone?
I don't want that.
Okay. Moving on.
So that's one of my childhood traumas or dramas. Now
So you
you
got
go to
scratched by
one.
a
We'll do
cat.
one and one.
Okay. What was mine? Because you know my memory. You wrote them down when I was telling you.
Milk.
Milk? Oh, so my grandma used to watch me when I was a baby. This is her story, and I can't really remember, so it has to just be drama because I'm sure I'm not traumatized. But she said that she was so tired and she was making bottles and my she was babysitting that she didn't put the lid on the bottle and just gave it to me and I was like drowning in the milk and she said she was freaking out because like I was like couldn't like cough up the
How
milk.
old were you?
Well, if I was drinking a bottle, I'm sure I don't know, I drank a
Linda,
bottle
you quit
for
drinking? You
yeah,
that's
I
what I'm
drank
saying.
fun fact, I drank a bottle till like kindergarten. So I could have been any age, but I'm assuming if I was a little defenseless that I was under 1. And I'll go to another childhood trauma or drama. So by my grandma's house, there was a secondhand store, like a thrift shop. And it was in walking distance. My grandma doesn't drive. So she took the stroller and me as a baby. I was a baby to the secondhand store, shopping, thrifting, whatever. She walks back to the house and she left the stroller. She left me as a baby inside the thrift shop. So she gets back and my grandpa's like, "Where's the baby?" And she it to the thrift, like 2 blocks from the house. You know where it's at, where that gas station is, where Chevron is. So it's like 2 blocks from my grandma's house. So she books it back to the thing, and I was still asleep in the stroller, and like the person that worked there just moved the stroller by the cashier. But
You
yeah,
got lucky. No one picked you up.
I know. Well, it's the hood. I don't
Blessed
think
be you're
anybody
here
could
today.
nobody could afford the kids they had. I really don't think anybody was gonna steal me.
Oh my God.
Maybe the stroller.
Dude, Nana used to make us walk everywhere. Our Nana doesn't drive.
Yeah, she's never learned how to drive because she's really nervous. So, like, my grandpa tried to teach her how to drive and it didn't go well. So, she walked everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I remember walking all the way to the Civic Center, which is miles from her house. I don't remember why we did. There was like something going on, but we walked everywhere.
Okay, humans, she lives on First Street.
She was on First Street and we walked to the Civic Center, which is on like 32nd Street.
Fuck. I think the farthest I walked was Food City. And
That
remember,
was the
my
best
feet
part.
were all nasty because my mom had just bought me some limited to Converse, like collab or whatever shoes. I remember because they were like camo print, like cute. And I went from First Street to Food City, and I could barely walk by the time I was there. Like my feet were all blistered up.
Well, you also had like your ankles were like rolled
I'm
in,
flat
so I
footed.
oh, I'm flat-footed, so I feel like you weren't set up for success. You needed to be wearing like Hoka's back then.
Uh,
What's the
uh,
other one?
next story. So I have body wash.
That see, okay, so she's telling me the one she's gonna say, and these are her as a young adult. I'm talking like early 20s. Like I don't think they count, but I'm gonna let her so that you guys can see what I'm dealing with, like how lucky she is to have me in her life. Tell them the story.
Uh-huh.
Don't
I'm
roll your
lucky. You're
eyes. For the
lucky. We're
people
all
that are
lucky.
that only listen to the podcast, she's rolling her eyes.
Okay, so I was 24. I was 24, and there was a moment in time,
College graduate.
recibida, ajá, sí, recién recibida, and there was a time where my legs were peeling bad. I have a photo here, actually. Let me pull it up for you guys.
You can't
You
really
see
see
that?
it. For people that are just listening to it, it looks just like she's peeling. Like she had a sunburn and it's peeling.
It was bad, concerning. And so my mom's like, you need to make a dermatologist appointment. And so I did. I in San Luis, Mexico. And I'm telling the lady like observes my legs and she's like, I don't know how to phrase this, but your organs are shutting down and you may die. Like it was that severe. Like, and right away I was like, fuck. Like, what do you mean? And they're like, you need to get blood work done and this and that. Like, you're not okay. Like, you are not okay. And she's like, can you please bring all the stuff that you use, meaning shampoo, conditioner,
Lotion,
soaps,
all your
face
products.
wash, everything. She's like, bring it to me this afternoon, same day, because she was like, or else we're going to have to hospitalize you because you're going to die. And so I voy
I
por la
don't
casa.
remember it being this dramatic, but okay.
So I voy por la casa a recoger all my stuff. And so I lined them up and I was like, this is my shampoo. This is my conditioner. This is my soap. This is my lotion. This is my face wash. Like I'm explaining to her each step. And for the record, like I said, es una viejita de San Luis. And doesn't speak English. And like her, like the Mexican like consultorios are like all old and like
But she's a
dark and
dermatologist, right? This is a dermatologist.
yeah,
Okay.
old, dark and stuff. And like she's older. And so she's reading every single one with her glasses. Shampoo, she's looking at the ingredients and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just talking to her. She's grabbing one by one and then she gets to the lotion step. And I was like, yeah, this is mi crema. This is my lotion. And she's looking at it and she's like, body wash. And then I look up and I'm like, what the fuck you mean body wash? And then she's like, aquí dice body wash. And I was like, no, ahí dice shea butter. Because like on the top, the
Considered
brand
one of the
Olay?
ingredients.
The Olay brand has a body wash that I didn't know was body wash because I just read shea butter on top. Let me
So
pull up a
she had
picture.
been, so long story short, she had been using that body wash as
As
lotion
lotion
for
for
how long?
months.
Months?
Months.
So I mean, obviously it's soap, but she wasn't rinsing it off, so it gave her a chemical burn because that's what it was essentially, right? A chemical burn.
Yes. Okay, mira. I still use it to this day, by the way. Obviously, I didn't.
But
I'm
now
using it
the correct.
correctly. Yes. Watch. Arriba dice, you see it?
But
Shea
yes,
butter. And then
yes,
on the
because
way
that's
bottom,
an ingredient, girly. Didn't the like squeezing mechanism like throw you off, or was it a pump?
no, it's because there's lotions with squeeze, lotions with pumps. Like, I
Okay.
should have sued.
No, you would
I
have
wouldn't have
lost.
won.
You would have lost that lawsuit por pendeja.
So is that childhood trauma or drama?
But she wasn't a child. She was a young adult, college graduate, top in her class,
That's scary.
cannot read bottles. So what did the viejita say? Like you were dumb shit,
Yeah, she just told me, she's like, you
basically.
just burnt your skin. Like, thank God you're not dead. You're not gonna die, me dijo. Just use it correctly, mija.
And what did mom? I want to know what mom said.
Fucking pissed.
My yeah, so my mom's always like, okay, this will lead into my next childhood drama or trauma. Like if something happens to you, if you're hurt or sick or whatever, somehow it's always your fucking fault. Like you're dumb shit. So I already knew this about my mom. Like, and then it was just me and my mom. Like I was a kid. I think I was probably like in third or fourth. I think I was in fourth grade. And none of these other kids were born yet. Not Melissa, not Carlos. It was just me and my mom. My mom was younger.
The good
She
old
had
days.
several businesses. She was always like high strung. She was always like on edge. And
Overstimulated.
I had gone rollerblading with some friends here at my local park. And at this park, if you're from Yuma, there used to be a hill called Suicide Hill at Kofa Park. It used to be really steep and like fast. They've since removed it and made it less steep. So I was on my rollerblades. I wasn't the best rollerblader. So instead of it going super fast, I thought I would throw myself on the grass instead of just trying to ride it out because I thought that would prevent me from getting hurt. So I'm going down Suicide Hill and I just roll like I threw myself in the grass to not get hurt, but I fell on top of my leg like with the heavy ass rollerblades and I was hurt, right? So I'm limping. I'm like, fuck, my mom's gonna. It was a Sunday. I had school the next day. I'm like, my mom's gonna be so irritated that I'm hurt, that I'm not gonna be able to go to school. So I was just faking it. Like I was limping around. We had a 2-story house. I was literally dragging myself up the stairs. And the next day, she told me I could stay home because I couldn't even walk. And then we had a cleaning lady that lived. Well, she didn't live with us, but she was there every day. When she saw me dragging my body like up the stairs, she tells my mom, she's like, I think she's really hurt. And my mom's like, she better not be hurt. So after
How
this,
old were you?
I think I was in fourth grade. So how old are you? Like 9?
Mm-hmm.
And she's finally like, I think it's Wednesday. It was gonna be Wednesday, and she's like, she took me to get an X-ray because I couldn't miss any more school, and she's already irritated. And my leg was broken, like broken, like both bones, like broken into like broken. Like they had to cast me all the way up. And the doctor was like, maybe it was just a fracture, but her trying to walk on it like all these days made it worse. And obviously my mom's like, ay, pobrecita, like a friend of the doctor. And then we're getting in the car, and she's like, why didn't you fucking say anything? You dumb shit. Like, if it hurt, you should have told me. Why were you faking it? And I'm just like, oh my God. So that was definitely traumatic for me. And I
Okay,
definitely have issues when I'm sick or admitting that I'm sick or I don't feel good.
I have written down broken ankle part one, broken ankle part two.
Okay, so then I'm telling Melissa the story last week that we're going to talk about, and something clicked. Like psychologically, I get why my behavior. So I was in a car accident when I was
In
like
high school.
18. I would know it was like the summer that I graduated high school. So it was like 18 or 19. I ended up breaking my ankle because in the car accident, they took me to the hospital. They obviously emergency room. I was already over 18, so it's not like they had to call my parents. But I did. My mom was out of town, and I was staying at my grandparents' house, and I knew she was busy. Like she was on a little. I think que andaban en el Golfo. She was with you guys, and I knew that like I didn't want to inconvenience. And then it was late, so my grandparents went to sleep early, so I didn't want to worry them. So I ended up calling a coworker. This is when I worked as a receptionist. Like she was a young adult. Like I think she was like in her late 20s or whatever. When I got released, if she could pick me up and take me home. So she took me to the house, to my grandparents' house. I snuck in on crutches. I put myself to bed. The next morning, my grandpa came in my room because he'd always come in my room, and my leg was hanging out, and it had been casted all the way to the top, even though I only broke my ankle because I couldn't see the orthopedic surgeon until Monday. So he's freaking out, yelling at me, what happened? And I was like, oh, I was in a car
Well,
accident. And
how
then they're
would you feel, dude, if you woke up
pissed.
in the morning and know how to cast?
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm telling you, I probably did that because I would get in trouble when I was sick or whatever, and I just didn't want to worry anybody. I didn't want to inconvenience anybody, and it was already late, so I was like, it's broken. Like nobody, them being here isn't gonna make it better.
Anybody that listens to our podcast, si eres psicóloga, can you
Oh,
please tell my
oh, for
sister she's got
sure.
issues?
I got issues.
That she can't ask for help?
I can't. I have a hard time asking for help. And it stems probably since my childhood, obviously. But anyways, he was pissed at me because I was cast up to the top. I'd been in a car accident. I hadn't told anybody. My grandma comes in and she starts crying because she's over dramatic. I was like, can you guys please not tell mom until she gets back? Like, what's the point? So they did it. And then my mom comes, or they tell my mom comes back. And then my mom's pissed because nobody told her that I had been in a car accident and broke my ankle. So then I was in trouble. Then I got my Jeep taken away because I didn't tell
Not the
anybody I was in a
Jeep.
car accident. So yeah. Is that trauma or drama or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. uh, I
Okay.
go not walking the line. So this we talked about it a little bit. Like we started it on the last episode.
Oh, we said we're gonna say it, yeah.
So very long story short, I was a cheater in school. No con los hombres, sino nomás en la escuela. So I was that traviesa that would go through the teachers' desks and get the manuals, get the answers, or I would Google everything, whatever. I'm so lucky that ChatGPT didn't exist during my times because otherwise I'd be using that shit
It's
too.
so easy to cheat now. But anyway, yeah, we
But
still
I
have to
feel
get
like they
creative.
say that there's apps, softwares that detect students using ChatGPT.
Yeah, I heard that. But still, it's still so much like cheating for us. Like we had to get creative. Like you had to get real creative. Now it's like so easy for them. But
So
anyway,
yeah, so I was that kid that would go through their desks and blah blah blah. I'm sorry to all, if there's a teacher of mine that listens to this or one of your grandkids listen to this. I'm sorry. So yeah, so it was a chemistry exam. I went through my teacher's desk a few days before I got the exam. I got the answers and everything, and I passed it around to some homies. And I took the test already. I submitted my test the day before, y todo bien. The next day, there was my other classmates that were taking the exam too, another period. And one of them got caught. I'm not going to say a name, but it was my ex-boyfriend. So let's
so
just
if
leave
you
it
know,
at,
you know.
if you know, you know. So my ex-boyfriend got caught and he got sent to the principal's office. And the way that he got caught was because he had a little accordion, basically a little tiny note with all the answers. And they interrogated him in the principal's office. Y de volada, they were like, "Where'd you get this?" And he didn't even flinch. So he's a little bitch. He said,
Hey,
"Melissa,
hey, hey, hey.
Melissa,
Respectfully.
respectfully, Melissa." So I got called in right away, and they told me because it was finals for graduation senior year. They're like, you're not going to walk the line. You're not going to walk the line because this is a big thing, like you going through the teacher's desk and everything is a big deal, because he even told them like how I got the answers. And now that I think about it, I'm just like, why didn't I break up with him or leave his ass then? He showed me that he wasn't loyal. Like, why did I stay there? Por
I
pendeja.
know. I did. Yeah. Well, you guys were also young and he's scared. I don't know. I would have been pissed, but
Yeah, so basically he snitched me out and they threatened me and they said I wasn't going to walk the line, but I ended up walking the line. Teehee.
was that the same when you cheated on the SATs?
I didn't cheat on the SATs. That's a lie. What happened with the SATs is that I wrote
Oh, it's
YOLO,
worse than cheating. You know how the fill in the blanks, she
the
spelled out
bubbles,
YOLO on the test instead of
the
actually
state
doing it?
exam. Yeah,
It
so I
was
wrote out, I didn't take it serious. I wrote out YOLO on the state exam, but where I got in trouble was because my dumbass took a picture of it and
I
I posted it
posted it.
on Facebook. And
That's when
one
she,
of the
because that's
moms
illegal.
apparently, yeah, snitched me because it's illegal. Like, it's illegal. And so one of
And
the moms reported me to the school. And that's when I got in trouble. But I was tripping balls then because the principal at the time told me the cops are going to come and get me. And
And
that's
I
like
was,
for the
I think
first
it
time
was
that I was
like
scared.
no, the reason you did it because you didn't want to do well on the test. It was a placement test. I think it was a placement test, and you didn't want to be in honors or advanced because you didn't want to have to work for your grades. Like you wanted easy classes. So you had the genius idea of just writing YOLO and taking a picture of it.
And I thought for a while that I was legit going to have to go to jail.
It's funny when you're a kid and they tell you things like that, it always works. Like you always think you are going to get in legal
But
trouble.
you know what really pissed me off? So obviously I didn't go to jail, but what pissed me off is that like my mom and Linda back in the day eran bien carrilludas conmigo, like machine. So then they started calling me Miss YOLO, and like it would hit a nerve. Okay, Miss YOLO, ooh YOLO, like todo YOLO, and oh my god, like.
Well,
People
you
would
did it
say
to
carrilla,
yourself.
but I would call it bullying now. So it is a little bit of drama.
It was carrilla, but some people call it bullying. But I mean, that's what you get for cheating and doing that. There's got to be some repercussions. You didn't go to jail. You might as well get bullied at home for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she hated the word YOLO because we would
But
say it for
apparently I
everything.
didn't learn because I still kept cheating. I didn't cheat in college though.
Hopefully,
I
not
didn't, I
hopefully
swear.
that high GPA is real.
I swear I was very studious. I was actually like, I was like, como se dice? I would help other kids like with their homework and stuff, and
It
I would
was
even charge
surprising.
for tutoring.
Honestly, I was very impressed, like because high school, I think you did the bare minimum. You did fine, but I mean, obviously you
I didn't
weren't
care.
the best student. And then in college, I don't know what clicked in you, and she just was like so studious, good grade, when it should be harder, when college should be so much harder. But
No,
I
I would
was proud
pay.
of
I
you.
would pay to help people with their homework and like study and stuff. Like I
I
was
think you
the.
were just immature and you
I
finally
was
matured and you
very.
knew that it was going towards your bigger goal and high school was just a stepping stone, but I'm glad you did mature. Proud of you. YOLO.
Meow
Miss
meow meow
YOLO.
meow
Meow, meow,
meow meow
meow,
meow
meow, meow,
meow.
meow.
Anyhow,
Anyhow,
so
teehee.
those are mine. Um, you're next. Living in Winter Haven.
Okay, so after, should I save this one for another episode so we can talk about, okay, I'll just say it because
Just say that one, and then we'll continue with Netflix.
so after my dad passed away, me and my mom moved to Winter Haven because her adopted dad had given her a trailer that he had there. Winter Haven, for those that don't live here, is like an Indian reservation, super small town right outside of Yuma. So after my dad passed away, we moved in there while we looked for where we were going to live and what the plan was. I think I was four. I was four, maybe I was four when my dad passed away. I was probably five when this happened, um, before kindergarten. And it was just me and my mom living alone. And we, one night, we hear somebody trying to come in the door and then come through the window. And we look outside and it's this drunk guy. So we call obviously 911 and their reservation police. And he's drunk and he thinks he's trying to get into his trailer, but he was trying to get into our trailer. So we're just hiding on the side of the bed. And I remember this vividly. And I don't remember being scared or my mom freaking out, or she had a water bed. I remember she had a water bed because we jumped over it and hid on the side, like underneath the bed, and they told us just to stay there till they got there. And this guy was trying so hard to get in and telling us to open up and saying a name. I don't remember what the name was. And I
He probably
remember,
wasn't trying to break in. He probably thought that was legit that
no,
person's home.
he thought it was his house and he was yelling for them to open up because his wife probably doesn't open the door for when he's drunk, but it felt like it went on forever because it felt like it took forever for them to finally come. But I remember being like cool as a cucumber, like whatever, like this guy's not
A los
gonna,
5 años no pasa nada.
no pasa nada, like it's fine. I don't remember my mom freaking out either, but so is that trauma or drama? I think it's just drama because I still don't, I'm not the best at locking doors.
You shouldn't say that, eh? Yes, you do.
Well, I have a killer alarm system and a killer dog, so try it.
I think someone's here because I hear, or I don't know if si me está dando culito.
It's the ghost.
Um, I have one more about the car catching on fire when I was in high school, but should we say that for episode 3 so we can talk about the Netflix? How many minutes in are we?
For 33. No, go ahead and say it, and then we'll get into the
Last,
next.
okay. Last incident. When I was in high school, freshman in high school, I played volleyball for a little bit. I thought I could, but I sucked at it. But I tried it once, and I lived in San Luis at the time. So my one of my dad's workers would pick me up from volleyball practice and take me home because the bus wouldn't stay for after school activities. And on our way back to San Luis, all of a sudden we pull up into a neighborhood in San Luis, Arizona, and it starts smelling like carnita asada. And we thought it was the neighborhood, like, normal. But then all of a sudden we see the cofre, like humo coming out of it. And then he pulls over to the side, and I'm still in the car. I think I talked about this on episode 1, did I? About the
I don't
Michael Kors?
know. I've heard it so many times you might have, but I'm not sure.
My mom's calling me. But very long story short, the car explodes. I was able to run out of there. No one got hurt. The car burnt to ashes, and I left my gym bag in there. And in the gym bag was my Michael Kors watch. Michael Kors watches were the tits back in the day. I
Yeah,
cried. wear that stupid ass watch for days.
Even though the car exploded, she could have been
And that I
seriously
could have
hurt,
gotten
but she
hurt.
couldn't
Somebody
get
could
over
have gotten hurt.
the Michael Kors watch like for weeks. That's definitely drama.
Trauma.
Zero trauma. But
So
speaking of childhood drama and trauma, we recently watched the Netflix docuseries, Bad
bad
Influence?
influence.
If you haven't seen it, spoilers ahead. What did you think about it? What was your take?
Tell them what it's about for the ones that haven't
Okay,
watched it.
so it's about kid influencing. It's about mostly about this one group of kids that were on Netflix. This girl named Piper Raquel that blew up, and her mom was like her momager, and then she recruited a bunch of kids to like hang out and film videos. But the other kids like were in a lawsuit that she had like sexually abused some of them and exploited them and like lied about like funds and then tried to
Minors.
they're all minors, sabotage their personal pages and their views. The thing that got me the most, I think that bothered me the most about all of their parents was the whole docuseries. I'm watching it, and the thing they're most upset about was when they thought she was messing with their views and their follower count and their like insights, like the numbers. Like that's what bothered them more than the exploitation, more than the I don't know. And that part really bothered me because it's like at the end of the day, I think if she wouldn't have messed with all of that, like they would probably all still be like in cahoots, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
First of all, what's your opinion about kids on social media? You personally being kids on social media.
I think, see, it was hard because when I got into social media, I was a new mother and like social media was very new to me and the concept of it. But as I started getting older, I started to really respect her privacy. Like even now, like I'm very mindful of what I post about her with her permission and the things that she's into because I don't know. There's just,
And
I
age
mean, it's,
appropriateness. I
I,
think that's my problem right now with kids nowadays. That, like the show, The Bad Influence, these kids are not acting their age.
yeah,
They're
that's a big
they're
thing.
bien precos. And at least I feel like Elle's very much her
Elle's
age.
very on age. She's very on age. She doesn't
I'm not
have
being
she
biased.
she's not I'm not trying not to be biased either. She's not like into Instagram. She likes TikTok, but her TikTok's very innocent. It's very like crafty outfits, the
DIYs.
recipes, things like that. She loves Pinterest. I think Pinterest is her favorite like social media thing. But I think that's why I don't know. It's just a hard because I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff of her when she was little, but I think the point where I realized like the long-term effects, I think I was at a good spot and she was at a good age that I don't think there's anything that she'll be embarrassed about, hopefully, and only things that she'll be proud of and can look back fondly. But I do want her to do social media on her own terms. Like right now, she's interested
And
in
have fun with
styling
it.
and have
Like,
fun. Like she's
I don't
interested in
want you to be those crazy ass momagers ever. Like, I will be so pissed at you if you become one of those crazy ass momagers like
I don't think it's
Tiffany.
possible. I don't even think that's in my personality. Like right now, her thing, she likes styling, she likes outfits, like, and I try to like cater to that because I mean, she's being creative and she likes it, but she never tells me like, oh, I want my own page or I want to read the comments or anything like that. So it
She
feels
doesn't care about the numbers. She doesn't care
no,
about any of that. What
which
worries me, I want a neurosurgeon to psychologically study the brains of people like Tiffany,
the
people
moms.
like Britney Spears' parents, people like the girl from iCarly, the one that wrote the book I Wish My Mom Was Dead or something like that.
Hmm.
I want them to study the parents' brains of how they become so obsessive and they just exploit their children, not caring what price, what at what cost they're putting their kids in danger.
Well, like Tiffany's, I think it stemmed from the dad leaving because she even said that she wanted like the dad to see what he was missing because I guess the dad left them like when the little girl was little. So she got her into pageants and things like that. And it was important she wanted to send a message like that to see like how
I
valuable
don't
she
need you.
was. And I think that for some people it's that when they don't have the dad in the picture or the husband in the picture. For other people, it's like the things they didn't get to
There's just
do.
other types of way to make income besides
Oh
like
yeah, I don't think your children should be an like that's just it's not fair to put that kind of pressure on a child. Like, it's just not fair. Can
No,
you imagine? It's hard enough to be a kid and have to worry about like providing for your family and you being like the breadwinner. Like, in no world does that make sense.
no, but it definitely it hit a nerve. It hit a nerve, and then antes I would not that I would make fun of people that would respect their kids' privacies and not post like their face, like just their backs and stuff. But I understand now because there's so many creepers out there. You don't know what
Oh
you're putting
yeah,
out there,
there's
even to yourself. You know, I mean, yeah, we're grown ups and we can make up our own decisions and decide what we post and what we don't. But it's just like I get it now,
no, yeah, for sure that it was
especially
eye
for a
opening.
girl. Like I'm just so glad that in my times there wasn't any social media because
I was like so disgusted and so shocked too because I didn't really, I mean, obviously I'm not naive. Like, I know pedophiles, like social media, Instagram, the internet in general is like a playground for pedophiles, but I didn't realize that they were really into like the gymnastics and the dancer pages and the girls in the leotards and like moving like that and doing the splits. Like, I guess because my mind doesn't think that way, like to know that those are like that those big dance accounts are mostly followed by grown ass
males.
men. And that's the part that's disturbing, is that the mothers don't care. Like, they just care about the number and the followers. But that part did. I was like, it makes sense. Obviously, once they said it in the documentary, I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense that pedophiles would want to see girls in leotards. But I never, like, my mind never went
No,
there.
because we don't think that way. Like it's just crazy. It's dark. Like the world's dark just because it's mostly pretties and rainbows like in our mentality, but no, like there's evil out there and it's just like
I think the
be
best
careful.
thing you can do, and me having a little bit of insight in the social media thing with children, is just being really honest with them. I'm always telling Elle how social media is not real, how everything's a highlight reel, how there's like your human connections and the people that you know in person so much more important than people, your friends on Instagram, what people that really know you. And I mean, she obviously knows social media is an amazing tool for business and connections and stuff, because I can't sit here and lie and say I haven't had amazing opportunities because of social media. But I want her to know that there's much more out there than just that, you know? And I think maybe because I'm in this world, she doesn't have as much interest in it. Like, it does not as cool because it's like, whatever, like some shit my mom kind of does. But I do think you need to be really honest with your kids so they can have a healthy outlook. And protect their privacy, because the way they are right now in 10 years, like, doesn't, like, happy that there was no social media when I was in college. There's no record of me like dancing on tables, even though it's a normal milestone that everybody has a right to go through and live. It's just hard to see it when you're an adult and you've gotten past it. So I'm always telling her, whatever you post, like, that's forever. Like, if you send someone a picture, like, there's no going back. Like, so I think just constantly letting them know that there's always going to be a digital footprint of whatever
Receipts.
they post, and receipts. Like, I tell her too, and when she's chatting with her friends, I was like, you don't know I watch what you say, be mindful of what you text, because parents and teachers and everybody can read it. And, thank God nothing has happened till now, but I'm hoping that because I tell her enough that she'll make smart decisions, even though I know she's going to make some dumb ones, and that's just part of growing up.
Yeah.
You made a
You live
lot.
and you learn.
I made plenty as well. I was probably just a little sneakier than you. But yeah, that was a definitely eye awakening, and it made me really sad for that Piper girl, because she never had a childhood. She has no concept of growing up normal, growing up being a kid. And it started out very innocent because it seemed like she enjoyed making content and toy videos and reviews,
People
and
just get
then
greedy.
they
People
just
just
get
get greedy
greedy.
and want more and more and more. It doesn't matter at what price.
And they just have to keep pushing the envelope to get the views and be more outrageous. And it's just a slippery slope. But it's just sad that you're going to put your child that has no, like, their frontal lobe isn't even developed in a situation like that.
Well, I tell Elle all the time, it's not that cool to be an adult. Like slow down. Like all that girls are acting way older than their age. I'm like, you don't want to be 30. You don't want to
No,
be 40.
no.
Like
Like,
slow down, enjoy right now.
I'm not super strict. Like, if she wants to wear makeup, she wants to whatever, but she doesn't want to because she just doesn't. And it makes me happy because, not that I care. I mean, it's just makeup, but it's just like, you're so beautiful when you're like little, and you're just perfect. Like, I don't know. I'm happy where she's at. I'm really proud of her. Not just because she's my
Let's
daughter
just
and I'm
hope it
being
stays
biased,
there. It's
but
scary.
she's very on a edge, and I'm glad. I feel like she's where she needs to be in each age of her life, and I feel like she is still very much a kid because she's 12, right? She's 12, yeah.
Yeah, no, let's forever conserve her innocence and just,
She is not that innocent. Like, that girl's got a dark sense of humor and she knows some shit. But I feel like her interests and her
she's
hobbies
very
and
mature.
everything.
She's very
She's
mature.
mature in some stuff, but she's also still very much a kid at heart.
Hmm.
And Papi's just that old man.
I'm scared to have a girl. I'm
They
scared to have
both
a girl.
they're both scary in different ways at different ages, but I hope you do have a girl. But
I do
I
too.
only picture you as a boy mom. Unless you keep trying it, that ferras that you want a girl, you're gonna get a girl. But I feel
Yeah.
like 2 to 3 boys and then a girl.
Oh God, imagíname con cuatro.
And it's
Let the
weird because your
extensions.
first one is supposed to be the easiest. So I'm curious what your second child is gonna be like.
We gonna find out. Nothing's gonna tame me. Nothing's gonna phase me.
No. Well, yeah, something has tamed you, and his name is Santi.
He doesn't know what kind of mama he has though.
Yeah, he does. He knows she's a pushover.
Anyway, how many
So
minutes
let's
in are
wrap
we?
this up. We're at 46.
Wow, I think this is the longest episode.
Yeah, I think 45, 46. That you love me. Oh, yes. Oh, we could I want to do a whole podcast episode. Let's save that one. I'm obsessed. I feel like the whole human race should have to watch Love on the Spectrum. I just leave it there. I spent the whole weekend crying happy tears and feeling all the feels in the best way. But we'll do another episode just on that because I could talk about that all day. I could talk about it all day. Bye, bitch.